Live. What's your mug say?
My mug says, kind, beautiful, and capable of big things popping.
Okay, okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna take just a couple minutes, give people a minute to slide in here. But do us a favor as you come in, like, share, invite somebody in. We appreciate it. I'm gonna take a couple minutes here, and then we'll get started.
Sorry about that. Let me make sure. You can hear me fine, right?
Yes, I can hear you just fine.
All right, perfect. We had some difficulties last time, but we made it happen this week, right, Gary?
Yes,
I
ma'am.
was determined trying to get over the Bugman Bridge.
I had called Dominic. I said, Dominic, I said, you doing all right down there? He says, what do you mean, Dad? I said, there's all kinds of tornado warnings. And he says, Dad, I'm fine. I said, boy, and he stay over there on the west side over there by well, he stay off of what is it? Edgewood over in that area.
Well,
But
it was what ended up happening was it was from like maybe an hour, 2 hours, but it was the accident. It was the aftermath.
oh,
So
okay.
people driving crazy trying to get home, and it was like 5 different accidents on my way home. It got
Gotcha.
to a point to where 295 was like a standstill.
Yeah, he called me. He says, yeah, Dad, we're good. There's just a little bit of rain. I said, oh, okay. Because over there, his grandmother stay off of Green Street over there, off of McDuff,
Hmm.
and there's this they call it a big green lot with a retention pond in it, and normally the trees are all falling all over the place and everything. He's like, no, Dad.
It's all good. I'm glad he was okay. I don't think it
Yeah,
was any real damage.
yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think so. But they scared us though.
All right, you guys, couple more minutes. Just go ahead and invite somebody in, share it, and we will get started here in probably about next 60 to 120 seconds.
I know I got my people on.
Okay, okay.
I know my girls on. Miss Alicia and Lexi and all of the above. Raquel. Shouts out to you girls.
You just had a young lady compete recently, didn't you? Gymnastics.
Yes. Journey. Journey did. And she brought home all the trophies,
She
all
brought
the
them all,
ribbons.
not
She
just one
brought
of them.
home
She
all
brought
the
all the
ribbons as
trophies.
she does all the time.
That is awesome.
Yes.
That is
We love
awesome.
supporting our babies. We love supporting our babies.
All right, we'll go ahead and jump in and get started here. And of course, as you guys are coming in again, we appreciate it. We ask that you like and share and invite somebody in. Definitely appreciate all the love and all the support. But want to welcome you. Harvey. This week we've got Miss Tomika Wilkerson with us, and but a couple shout outs that I want to throw out there. Valentine's Day is coming up. And Living Beauty Florals, we usually kind of push them if you're in the Jacksonville area, that greater Duval area. Go ahead and hit her up for all your floral arrangements, Valentine's Day gifts. You can catch her on Facebook, Instagram, and definitely worth it. She'll definitely make the moment special. And then Queen BZ Cosmetics that helped us out with our recent giveaway. They are actually launching their Icons line, a new line and new colors of their liquid matte lipstick. I believe Friday is when it launches, so be on the lookout for that. But definitely want to give a shout out. We've been trying to highlight various businesses and authors and entrepreneurs and creators and influencers every day, especially this month as well with Black History Month. I kind of personally, and it's kind of funny. I'm like blending into the background. I'm as white as I am, but I know, right? It's funny. Um,
You all right, dear.
The fact that, for whatever reason, Black History Month was chosen to be the shortest month of the year. But I want to encourage everybody, number one, educate yourself and make sure that the impact of that the culture does have on the rest of the world and on our country and our nation. But Black history is not 28 days. 24/7, 365. And so definitely want to encourage you though to educate yourself. We've been talking about it on and off here on the podcast as well as a house call, and just the level of importance to educate. You can't start the healing process and can't make change without educating yourself and without accountability. So I want to encourage you there. So with that being said, we are going to jump into tonight's episode. Of course, mirrors, they got three purposes: show you who you were, show you who you are, and help you become who it is you want to be. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the man in the mirror, face our reflection, and see if we can't become better than what we started the day at. So tonight, our special guest, Miss Tomika Wilkerson, founder and CEO of the nonprofit Strength and Sisterhood. I know I'm not going to hammer every aspect of it, but to simplify it for those that don't know, it's a mentorship program geared towards young women. There's always programs for young men. You always see programs for young men, always see internships and mentorship programs and educational programs for young men in the community. And very rarely do you see anything geared towards the young women. And that's where Sisterhood has really stepped up. I've known her for a couple of years.
A couple of years, Gary.
Yeah, couple of years,
Okay.
since like, oh man, 2007.
Since like 2006.
Yeah,
Yes.
2006, 2007.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
it's been a couple of days.
It has. Many moments.
So definitely good to have you on here. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining us. With that being said, tell the people a little bit about yourself.
First of all, it's great. It's great for you to invite me on here. I really, really appreciate it. Like I said, we did have some difficulties last week, but we made it. And I definitely want to thank you for everything that you're doing and highlighting every aspect of Black history, and always looking to do more for the community and just sharing, liking, promoting. So kudos to you, Gary. Kudos.
I appreciate that.
My name is Tomika Wilkerson. Like Gary said, I am the founder and president of Strength and Sisterhood. It is a nonprofit organization, mentoring and empowerment program for young girls. And me personally, I am, oh God, so many things I could say about myself. I am a survivor. I am a conqueror. I am someone that turned their pain into purpose. I grew up the eldest of two siblings, and things wasn't as easy as I would have loved them to be. A lot of childhood trauma and pain and things of that nature. And I was a victim, or I claimed the victim for a very long time in my life. And then one day I decided that I no longer want to be the victim. I want to be the victor. So I realized that I needed to do something different in my life. I realized that my purpose was more than what was going on. So I start to heal. And that's when I realized that I can turn my pain into purpose. And this is what you see here. You see a conqueror and a survivor. You see a mother, you see a grandmother, you see a leader, you see a mentor, you see a friend, you see love. That is who I am.
All right. Said grandmother. You don't look a day over 28.
Oh, stop it, Gary. I have two beautiful grandbabies, and if you follow me on Facebook, you know I'm always posting Ari baby and my little pop. Yes, I am a grandmother.
That's awesome. I know that we've had several conversations when we worked together. I would definitely chew on your ear when I was going through my issues and my trying to play the victim role. And, I think sometimes it's not a matter of playing the role. You are the victim, but you don't know how to identify anything other. And so you kind of get stuck there because it becomes your identity. And if you don't have that, well, who am I now? Type of thing, and where the healing process comes in. But you were one of the few people that kind of told me to pull my head out, my fourth point of contact. So, it's definitely appreciated.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
You.
And then look at us now.
I know, right?
Right, like I never would have thought. Like, look at us now. Like you're like a cubicle away. And you're like, hey, let me tell you what happened last night. Give me some advice on this. And you know, I was mentoring back then.
Yeah,
Didn't even realize it.
the club stories,
Yeah,
Hey,
you know, the
I went
start.
to
We keep
I
that
went to Guam
PG
last
rated.
night. I'm hungover. What do I do? I tell everybody all the time, we all got a past. And especially being in
We do.
ministry, a lot of people think that being in ministry that everything's clean, and I get critiqued a lot of times by my peers because I'm too transparent. But I believe that if you don't let people know you can actually get down in the mud and get out of it, then they'd stay stuck. So
Absolutely.
I share it as much as I can. So Strength and Sisterhood, you said it was a mentorship program geared around empowering young women. With that being said, expand on that just a little bit for us. What does that mean?
Well, the Strength and Sisterhood is built on love, support, diversity, equality. Um, Basically, what happened, and I'll just give you a little backstory real quick.
Okay.
Like I said earlier about my childhood trauma and things that I went through, I never really had a voice, right?
Okay.
So I knew that I wanted to help, but I never knew how. So at the time, my life coach and my mentor, I sat down with him. This was probably about 3 to 4 years ago. I sat down with him. I'm like, look, I want to help people, but he was like, all right, so what you want to do? What's the demographics? Who your audience? Questions after that. I'm like, oh my goodness, I didn't know it was all that. I just wanted to help. Like, I got to come up with all that. So he was like, well, go to the drawing board, come back and figure it out. So it took about 2 years for me really to realize exactly what I wanted to do. So the biggest thing he said was to me, and the most important thing he said was, write a letter to your 10-year-old self. What would that look like? Okay. If you were a little girl, what type of resources, what type of program would you have wanted available for you at that time? And that is how it came about. Being the voice for some of these young girls that don't have a voice, the awareness, even when it comes to sexual abuse, when it comes to bullying, when it comes to suicide and things of that nature. A lot of times we don't want to talk about those things, but they're very important even at an early age. Mm-hmm. And I want to make sure that this is in front of these girls and they know that, along with education, like we do grade recognition, making sure the girls are keeping up with their grades. Mm-hmm. Support is a big thing, especially in our community and amongst our young girls, supporting one another. Everything is not about a competition. Right. We need to support. So that is one of our core values as well. Showing empathy is another one of our core values. Kindness, empowerment, leadership, and just being able to bond with one another. Your sister, this is a sisterhood. Self-love is a big one. Okay. A lot of these girls lack confidence. We're so busy dressing them up on the outside, but not working on them on the inside. And that is what Strength and Sisterhood is about. We have fun. We have a lot of fun too. But mm-hmm. I mean, really what we're doing, Gary, we're raising queens. And like I always say, it's going to take a village.
Okay. All right. Definitely. I know that on occasion you've even had like you'll do like Spanish classes for the girls. I've seen some posts with that, with some of your volunteers and stuff like that. And I think that's awesome. Some of the stuff that I've seen through your posts and on Facebook. Obviously up here in New York, I can't really participate.
Right.
But it's definitely encouraging, and it's encouraging to see the people that are coming out from the community. I won't steal any thunder as far as the interview is concerned, but I know that's definitely for me, it's exciting when I can see a community getting involved and different aspects of the community and on different levels. It's pretty it's an awesome thing to see. So with that, what's one thing that you wish you knew when you started, when you decided idea, but when you first launched it?
That's a good one. One thing that I wish I knew, that how can I say? Well, I guess really with me would be the support part of it. Like, I took on a lot versus me just really putting faith in the fact that people actually believe the same thing I believed and wanted the same thing that I want as far as that mission, mm-hmm. and reaching out more in the beginning. that was a really big thing for me. That's a challenge for me anyways, because I grew up doing everything by myself and always being a provider and things of that nature. So it was hard to ask for help.
Okay.
So, I mean, if I would have known I would have had the support that I have now, I probably would have did things just a little bit different in the beginning, but everything is a lesson.
Okay. Did, you know, I was talking to somebody earlier today. They were like, oh, you know, something had happened, kind of made a mistake. And, you know, that whole, oh, there's no losses, there's only lessons. Myself personally, I believe that there are losses, and it's through the losses that we learn our lessons. You know, if you can't acknowledge it as a loss and gain the lesson from the loss, it makes it difficult to progress. And, you know, talking about losses, what would you say your biggest failure's been?
And as you say it, like, I don't see it as, and I don't see it as a failure.
Okay.
I see it as an opportunity to where things could have been better. And I think and it just goes back to what I just said, just having the faith in myself that my team can do it just as much as I can. The fact that it is my baby, Strength and Sisterhood is my baby. I birthed this. From writing it down on a piece of paper to fruition, now this is my baby. So I'm always hands-on. And my team knows it because they always tell me I'm running around like a mad woman anytime I get in there, because I just want to make sure everything is okay. But instead of me sitting back, a lot of times I've missed the meetings because I'm so involved.
Okay.
Like, we have so much fun and we learn so much. And I don't really get to see exactly what's happening until after the fact, when I'm looking at the pictures, when I'm looking at the videos, because I'm so hands-on versus me sitting back and actually enjoying it with the girls, even sitting down and having a meal and really trusting that my team is going to make it happen. Okay. That would be one of the things I wish that I could have done over. Just trusting them a little bit more.
All right.
Because they are fantastic, by the way. I love y'all. I cannot do it without y'all. Know that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You know, you talk about it being, you know, your baby. There comes a point where you got to kind of go out there on the football field and scrape up their elbow and scrape up their knees, and then they walk that stage for graduation. You got to take a step back and let your baby be your baby, you know. But I think that your team, from what I've seen anyway, you got a solid team. You could do that. You know, you could take a day off.
Let me tell you something, Gary. Those ladies, I couldn't have prayed for a better team. I'm just going to be honest with you. Every last one of those ladies brings something special to that group. Everyone has their own personality. Everyone has their own way of doing things, but it's one mission. Mm-hmm. We all come together in an agreement of how things are going to run, and it's beautiful. The outcome is beautiful. Even in the beginning, when it looks like it's a mess and things are unorganized, and we don't know what's going to happen. At the end of the day, we all put it together and it all works out. Every meeting is always perfect. At the end of the day, always.
Awesome. Very cool. That's good to know. What advice would you give someone that's wanting to pursue something similar to this?
Make sure your intention, do it for the right intentions.
Okay.
Make sure that, make sure it's something that you love too. Make sure it's something that you're passionate about, something that you love, and make sure your intentions are pure. Seriously, because at the end of the day, the girls hurt. They're the ones that lose out on the end if your intentions aren't pure and true.
All right, awesome. With that, talking about being something that you love, you work a full-time job. Strength and sisterhood is not the only thing that you give your attention to. So how do you balance that?
I wish you could see. I got some cover up, but it's so much gray up under here, Gary. That is one of my challenges right now. This is why we are, since Strength and Sisterhood is on a mental break right now. Okay. So I think that's something that we're going to be doing every year, at least right after that last meeting in New Year. At the end of the year, we're going to take about a month off. So we are taking this time off for a mental break and also to plan for 2021. Right now, this is a really busy season for me, but I just take the time, Gary. I have to, even if it's just one time where I just book a room and I go away for the weekend. I have to make time for myself. Right. And a lot of people don't understand that. Like, you have to make sure that you're good. You cannot pour from an empty cup. And I think in the beginning, it was just go, 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 go. And I was beginning to be burnt out, trying to do my 9 to 5 and putting into Strength and Sisterhood. The balance is, when I know things that I cannot take on, I do not. One of the things that I know that is very important, that I realize, everything and everyone is not my assignment. Okay. So as much as I would love to help, if I can't, I can't. Saying no to me right now is a form of self-love for me. So if I can, I can. If I can, I will. But if I get to the point to where I feel like it's a little bit too much and I'm overwhelmed, then I'm not doing it.
Right. Well, I think that's important, recognizing what you can and cannot have. And, I joke I have a lot on my plate, and, I could go down a list, and then on top of my medical issues, like yesterday, I was doctor's office and then kind of incapacitated for the rest of the day, and still struggling with that today. But I have this to do, and I've got another show that I've committed to. So it's one of those things where you got to, you learn to push through with certain things, but then other things, like you said, you say no to. But I always joke that I would rather choke on success than starve from mediocrity. And that's not saying that I go to several things, but it's kind of like, growing up after church on Sunday, the family we'd rush over to the Chinese buffet. And the joke in this little town is, we got to be out early so we can beat the Baptists to the buffet. That was the joke. And, I'm the kind of person, when I go to a buffet, I put a little bit on the plate. I'm gonna make multiple trips. That's me. I'm gonna get my money's worth, but I'm making multiple trips. My dad, not so much. He making 1, maybe 2 trips. That's it. So he's got a mountain on his plate, but that's what he can handle, and I think that's important that you said that. Sometimes it's just, hey, I book a day and just get away, or I just shut down for a little bit. And I think that's smart. I think that, a lot of organizations don't do that, and they don't have the staff to run 365 days a year without burning people out. And so to take that minute is it's refreshing and rejuvenating for the staff, but also works out better, I would assume works out better for the girls in the long run, because you guys aren't burnt out and able to give them what it is they deserve. At the end of the day, it's about them and being able to be there for them. So that's outstanding. So resources, help, assistance, not from a volunteer standpoint, but the best resources for you learning how to and launching the nonprofit, establishing it, continuing to run. What have been some of the best resources or areas that you've been able to go to for help and support?
Well, I have a mentor and a life coach. His name is A.D. Roberts. He has been a huge resource for me. He was the person that I went to when I first originally said that I wanted to help. And I'm gonna tell you, I ended up going and getting a book that said 250 questions when starting a nonprofit, and I read that first. Any type of resource that I can, and other women because there are some beautiful programs out here. One of the programs and I have to give her kudos because she has been a huge help to me. Her name is Crystal Life, and she is amazing. She is the founder and president of a nonprofit organization by the name of It's a Girl Thing. And she has been helping me tremendously. So, I mean, really, I just ask. I mean, if I see someone doing something on, and then I'll just Google some things and just do my research on it. And I'm not scared to ask. But I mean, anyone that I've asked for help have helped me. Have helped me. It's beautiful. Right, Thank you. If you're anybody that has helped me and answered my questions and been up really late and answered my texts, thank you. Thank you.
You can ask some questions.
I
haven't forgotten what it's like working with you.
Gary, don't put my business out like that. Don't do that.
It's all out.
This is about Strength and Sisterhood, Gary. Don't do that.
Listen, if I had an umbrella, I'd throw all the shade right now, but I don't have an umbrella with me.
Don't do that, Gary.
That's awesome. So I'm going to kind of put you on the spot a little bit.
Oh, come on, Gary.
3 people who have been the most influential to you and why?
I can't answer that, Gary.
You
I
can
can't
answer.
answer
Okay, well, just
three.
give us a few.
It is, listen, it would be like I'm accepting an award and thanking everybody. I mean, anybody that's crossed my path has helped me. But I will say this, a couple people that do come to mind. First of all, I want to thank God and the universe first, okay? Straight up. I would say, I have to say again, A.D. Roberts has been a great help to me. Keith Daly has been an amazing help. I would tell you that my job, the one that I work 9 to 5, 8 to 5.
About that. Didn't they've kind of done something a couple times for the.
Let me explain something to you.
Go ahead and brag on them a little.
I've never worked for a company that have supported me in such the way that they have. And I will tell you this because even with the look, when I say it was a vision, I put it down on paper. My old supervisors, my old colleagues, were sitting next to me in the cubicle, listening to me talk about what it's going to be, and then them being there watching it come to fruition. It was amazing. My job has donated so much time, energy, and money to my organization. It is amazing. They have been amazing. I have to say that again. They have been amazing. And besides my team, I mean, those ladies are.
How many do you have working with you now on your team?
I have, let me count. We have Miss Raquel, we got Miss Cindy, we got Shar, we got Lexi, we got Miss Alicia, and we got Miss Nisha. And then it's me. So it's 7.
All right.
Yeah, it's 7.
Fantastic.
You see me cheesing? You see me cheesing?
I see.
This is my baby, Gary.
I do.
This is what I love. I go to bed thinking about how can I make this program better? I wake up thinking about how can I make this program better? And I can't stress enough how much support I've gotten from the community. I mean, from my team, from my job, from family, friends. It is almost overwhelming, like to the point it was like, I cannot believe that it's happening, but it's happening. Okay. It's happening.
And you know, honestly, you can, even for somebody that's not there in person, and I mean, yeah, I do know you, but even from somebody that doesn't, they can tell, they can see the sincerity, they can, in the pictures, in the girls' faces, and you know, that type of thing is really, you can see the impact. And you know, with the other volunteers that are there, like you go to some events or some programs and you have some organizations and the volunteers are there because they want to help, but they really don't want to help. It's like, you know, they want to help on their terms. Your group doesn't seem that way. Your group at the end of the day is just all about the girls, is what it looks like. And that's fantastic. And you can see that on the girls' faces and the pictures and you know, the different things that you do. So I'm going to kind of rewind it a little bit. Influential people question. Okay.
Oh my goodness, Gary,
right.
Go ahead.
When you look at like someone that inspires you, somebody that, you know, it could be a public figure, you know, whatever, something to that effect. But where have you drawn some of your inspiration from?
Someone that has inspired me. I would say, honestly, my mom.
Okay.
My mother. And not so much of the things, I think the struggle, and to let her know that it's just so, this is just kind of a soft one there, but just to let her know, Mom, despite of everything I've been through, everything we went through, I'm making a difference. I'm going to make a difference. I'm not just talking about it, I'm doing it.
Right.
I've talked to you about it. I don't want any more girls to have to go through. We have to break these generational behaviors and curses, and it stops with us.
Right.
And I tell my mom this all the time. We talk about change. Me and my mom talk about this all the time. Like, we can sit and talk to our face turn purple and blue, but what are we doing? Like, what are we doing about it? Right. And my biggest thing is be the change that you want to see. And me and her talk about it. And I've seen the struggles that she's been through, and she pushes me to keep going, and to see her smile, and just to see her smile off my accomplishments means everything. It's just the motivation that keeps me in the work, that keeps me going. So my mom would be a very big influence.
Okay, awesome. See, I was gonna get the answer out of you.
You know, whatever.
So what kind of switching gears, going back to a business perspective, because at the end of the day, it's kind of what, the structure is and the process and all the hurdles in order to launch and run a nonprofit. But what are some common myths about nonprofits that you can share with the audience?
I can't speak on no one else's nonprofit, but I'll tell you, prior to me getting into it, some of the things that I've heard is, we just gonna keep it real, right? We keeping it real.
Hey,
okay, keep it real. So it's
I
like
ain't got a problem if people don't like me.
I'm gonna tell you this because I have been one of those people that have said it's a ripoff. I'm giving my money to a mission, and I don't see my money going anywhere. They're using my money for the wrong thing. They're not sincere. We're supposed to be doing this, and they're not doing any of that with our money. Mm-hmm. And in the very beginning, it was really hard for me to get any type of donations.
Okay.
And I'm gonna just, like we being transparent and being real, so I'm gonna just tell you, it was. And for some reason, I thought that I put it out there, I got the girls, I'm doing this, and we're supposed to be showered with people trying to give me money, right? I promise I did. And it was a little discouraging because it's like everything is coming from me, my bonuses and stuff like that, just making it happen. And I'm like, well, where's the help everybody said that they would do? Mm-hmm. But after a while, I realized how I felt years ago when I was contributing, and it's the work. People want to see what you're doing. People want to make sure that this is what, they want to make sure that your intentions are pure. And I got that. And I think the biggest myth is that a lot of people feel that, I don't know if this could be some shady business going on, because we've seen it.
Right.
So that's why when you were asking me that question, like, some advice I can give, make sure your intentions are pure. Every organization is not like that. Mm-hmm. I don't do it for the money. I do it for the love and the passion that I have for those girls, mm-hmm. and for my community. In order to keep it going, we need sponsors, we need donations, we need those things, we need that village. But at the end of the day, I smile when I lay down and I go to sleep. I smile because I know some way, somehow I made a difference. So that's the biggest myth.
Okay. Very cool. So walk us through, I know this wasn't on my list.
Oh, Gary, Gary. You can't add one on Gary now.
Hey, you know what? Stay alert, stay alive.
I hate
No, but walk us through,
what you got for me, Gary?
Walk us through a typical meeting with the girls. Like what generally, I know they're different, that you don't necessarily do the same thing every time, but just kind of in general. What would be some general things that?
So with everything going on now with the national health concern and things of that nature, so when the girls first come in, they got to make sure their mask is on. We take the temperature. So when they first come in, there's a sign-in sheet. Everyone needs to sign in. We make sure we take their temperature, sanitizer, and everything is throughout the entire building. The tables are spaced out and everything. So when the girls come in, that first 30 minutes of the meeting is pretty much mingling.
Okay.
We're giving the girls time. The meeting is from 11 to 2, but we normally give it about 30 minutes. So we really don't start until about 11:30, 11:35-ish, something of that nature. Okay. Normally in the beginning, we give announcements. So whatever we have coming up, we will go over the announcements. After that, we do a Queen's introduction.
Uh-oh.
So a Queen's introduction is when we introduce new queens. Okay. So the babies come up, and they say their name, their age, what some of their hobbies, and the school that they go to, and some of their favorite things. Okay. After that point, let me go back. So normally when we're mingling and things of that nature, We have a little music going on, kid appropriate, of course, just to get the vibe going, get the energy flowing, you know?
Okay.
So we do that. After we do the Queen's introduction, we do our sister pledge, which
Okay.
is, I am light, I am life, I am love, I am she, and she is me, and there is strength and sisterhood.
Okay. Okay.
I
Okay.
came up with that all by myself, Gary. I did it.
I'm gonna go get a wig.
But then we do our sister pledge. And at that point, whatever activity is planned or a guest speaker, we normally give them anywhere between 12 to about 1:30, 1:20-ish.
Okay.
So we have an activity planned that's during that time. Now, and then after that, we do another sister, we do the sister pledge again, which is kind of almost like our grace before we eat, because we feed the girls every meeting.
Okay.
So they eat lunch every meeting. So right after we do the sister pledge again, then we'll sit down and we'll eat, we'll fellowship together and we'll eat. Also, we also let them know, like doing the announcements, we just let them know everything that's going on. I'm trying to remember, see if there's anything else that we do. I think that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we end it.
Okay.
We end it.
What types of activities have you done with the girls?
Oh my goodness, what haven't we done?
Or types of speakers that you have come in and talk to the girls?
We've had speakers come in and talk about sexual abuse, identifying good touch, bad touch, good secret, bad secret.
Okay.
We've had a speaker come in and talk about bullying and suicide. We've had speakers come in and talk about confidence and self-love. That is the speakers so far. What we have coming up is finance, talking about finances, talking about credit. We're always going to double back on the self-love and the confidence. So we're always going to have that. Mm-hmm. We have a few things. We have so much stuff, Gary. It's just so much on the roster. I don't want to spoil it for it, because I haven't even discussed some of this stuff with the team yet.
Okay.
But we do have someone coming in and but we do have someone coming in talking about saving and financing and what's next. Because one of the things with Strength and Sisterhood is when you're in Strength and Sisterhood, you're always in Strength and Sisterhood. I can't even get it out. But what that means is once they reach 18, they can transition from a member to a mentor.
Okay.
So no matter if they go off to college, whatever their journey leads them, they'll always be a part of the organization. They can always tap into any resources that we have. So it's a family thing. It's from here on out.
Okay. All right. Sounds got some sorority flair going there.
Yeah, we got a little bit of something.
That's awesome. That lifetime network.
That lifetime, yes, absolutely.
That's awesome that they have that, because I think, I noticed with my son as he's grown up, there are certain topics that I thought he would be comfortable talking to me about. Come on, I'm dad, but no, it would be, another friend of mine or a female friend of mine, or something like that, and I'm sitting back going, really, you're supposed to talk to dad about that? But a lot of times they don't want to talk to family because family doesn't understand, or a lot of families is when you're struggling with things, it's taboo to have mental health issues. It's taboo to be struggling with that stress or that depression, or it's one of those, get over it. And so to be able to have a core that you can go to, regardless of if I'm in college or if I'm working a 9-to-5 or if I'm whatever the case may be, that's awesome. And it also sounds like it gives the organization the ability to have more than branches like the logo has.
What did you say?
Not just sitting in Jacksonville, but definitely branching out and expanding.
So did you ask me what was next for Strength and Sisterhood? Is that what you were asking me?
I was about to.
Okay.
Yeah. So what's next?
You see what that thing? Big things, Gary. Big things are coming. This is the first chapter. The second chapter, we have a couple places. We have Vero Beach. Of course, I can't forget my hometown, Orlando. There's a need. I have my childhood friends reach out, there is a need. And then of course, I always reach out to ask, like take a poll, like where is the need? And it's everywhere. My dream and goal is to have a strength and sisterhood in every state.
Okay.
How about that?
That would be awesome. That would be
That
awesome.
is, I mean, a household name.
Mm-hmm.
Household name.
And honestly, with the impact that I've seen, from New York, I mean, there's no reason it can't be, at all. And so that's awesome to hear. That's really encouraging.
I did want to add something to anyone that is watching or will watch, and you're thinking about putting your child into any mentorship program, mine or anyone else, because there are some really amazing programs out here for girls, as well as mine here in Jacksonville. Keep in mind that mentoring is a daily thing.
Mm-hmm.
We meet with these girls twice a month, sometimes 3 times a month, depending upon if we have an outside activity, but the work has to continue at home. Mm-hmm. That is the biggest thing. If we can't do it by ourselves, we do as much as we can, and we try to impact as much as we can, but the parents have to be involved. So if you really want any of these type of programs to work, do know that your dedication and your commitment is going to be needed, especially with Strength and Sisterhood. Mm-hmm. So to anyone that's watching and you're thinking about involving your child into this program, and it is a wonderful program, I'm gonna be real. If I had I wish I had this program when I was a little girl. Right. Like I really did. But I have to stress the commitment that will be needed from the parents in as well.
And obviously, mentorship programs or any type of organization can only do so much. Raquel wants me to ask you about your affirmation activity.
So thank you, Raquel. It's on my phone, but I'll do from remembrance. So we have an affirmation, and she's right, because I didn't add that in there. We have an affirmation that we do. Okay. So the girls, it's a couple of ways that we can do it. We can either do the mirror one, where we grab the mirror and the girls say, I am. And one of our confidence builder mentors that she just takes over is Shar Allen. She does this, like she gets the energy going in the room with the girls, and your confidence up, your head is up, you're in front of your sisters are there for support for our shy ones. I mean, when I tell you, you're in the room with your sisters, you would have thought that they were your real sisters, to the point to where we support these girls so much. They have their mirror up, they're affirming themselves, they're speaking life into themselves. That's one. Mm-hmm. The other one is a compliment circle. I got to add this in, Raquel, a compliment circle. So this is another activity that we do too, where we get in a big circle and we compliment each other. And the circle just goes around. And what it is that a lot of us don't know how to give or receive compliments. Okay. Because I've been giving compliments. I give compliments all the time to my girls, and they have their head down, they shy away, they don't know. Mm-hmm. They don't hear it enough. So we do that too. The other affirmation is something that was just introduced to us, and I believe it's I have, I will, I believe. I have, I will, I believe. I am. It's 5 of them. Raquel, please don't kill me, but I don't have. But it's 5 of them that the girls say, and it's so powerful. It really, really is. And if we have parents that are there that are volunteering, they get involved too, and we're involved as well. Okay. So,
all right. What age groups do you work with?
In the beginning, it was 6 to 18.
Okay.
But because we had a few babies that came along, and the mama was like, "Oh, she's 5 years old. We gotta wait 1 more year." And then they came to one meeting, then they came to another, and now they're there. So 5 to 18 years old.
Okay. Now with some of the topics, I'm assuming that you ensure that, and this is for people that aren't familiar with the program, but making sure that conversation is age appropriate, the large group, as far as the age ranges go.
Absolutely. And everything is parent approved.
Okay.
So this is nothing that they bring their daughter and then it's all of a sudden, oh my goodness, they're talking about this. No, we don't work like
Okay.
that.
Very cool.
So and honestly, Gary, I mean, there has never been a topic that any of the parents have said that they didn't want their child to sit in.
And see, to me, that's powerful because it shows two different things. Number one, the opportunity to deal with the hard topics, because a lot of parents don't know how to deal with the
They
hard
don't.
topics, because in my opinion, we learn how to be parents as we're raising our kids. And it's not until after we're done raising our kids that we realize, oh man, I sucked. I need to do better, and we learned it from watching our parents. And so it's like, it's kind of a steady building block. So being able to have those conversations with the kids, with the young women, is definitely paramount. But the fact that the parents acknowledge that, hey, you know what, I'm not, it's not working for me doing this. Let me make sure that they still get the information, even if it's not from me. Some parents have a real, they got a pride issue, that nobody else can deliver that information to my kid other than me,
And another thing too, a lot of these issues really need to be addressed at an early age, or really make
Agreed.
awareness at an early age.
Agreed.
I think, and I'll just give you an example. There was one time where a parent was not comfortable with her child being in on a speaker that came and talked about suicide.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the child was about 8. And some of the footage that we had was an 8-year-old that committed suicide.
Mm-hmm.
And we understand that, we respect that, but it is a need. It happens this young.
Yeah.
Because the suicide and the bullying goes hand in hand. And that was a very powerful, and shout out to the speaker that came out. You know who you are. Thank you so much. But that was a very powerful meeting, because sometimes the same thing we said, we could have had a couple bullies in the group,
Mm-hmm.
just to let you know that your action can cause this type of reaction.
Right.
So it is important. But like you asked, yeah, we definitely get approval from the parents, and certain things will be just geared to the older group, and then certain things will be geared to the younger group. So yes.
Right, definitely. Yeah. And that question was really for a point of clarification for anybody that's watching, because when you're talking 5 to 18, that's a pretty big, spectrum there.
And I know you didn't ask me this, but I'll just say it. When I was doing my research before I started the program, I pulled up and asked around about, what programs were available here in Jacksonville. What was the need? What were they offering? And one of the things that I noticed was majority of the programs that were here started at 12 years old.
Okay.
You got to get those babies, as they say, right off the porch.
Right.
That is the biggest influence. Like when they're that young, when they get about 15, 16 years old, they know everything. They think they know everything.
Right.
You're the most influential when they're young. So a lot of, and just speaking to some of other mentors and things, that having the babies can be more work because they are the babies, just keeping their attention and focus and things of that nature. But if a lot of my mentors can vouch for this, some of my babies show out better than my big girls.
I believe it.
So yeah.
Out of the mouth, the babes. I've learned more. I tell my son all the time that he's 17. He's going to graduate this year. And I tell him all the time that I've probably learned more from him than he ever will from me, honestly, just because they have a completely different perspective. My perspective is tainted after 40 years of life and the things that I've gone through. And they have a very fresh perspective on things. And sometimes, it'll be the simplest thing that they say that kind of just, it's an epiphany. And to be able to speak into their life that young and be able to kind of help them, that's an awesome responsibility and an awesome opportunity as well. So into my shoes in reverse roles, what's something that you would ask that I haven't asked about Strength and Sisterhood or about yourself?
I don't really think there's anything right now. I mean, besides like what was next. Or, I mean, nothing. I think you pretty much covered everything.
Okay.
I don't have anything.
All right. So where can the listeners connect with you online? Because we literally in about 15, 16 different countries, almost every one of the 50 states. So with that being said, how do they connect with you?
They can either email, which is going to be strengthandsisterhoodfl@gmail.com. We have Facebook, which is just Strength and Sisterhood. You can go on our website, which is www.strengthandsisterhoodfl.org. Our IG would be Strength and Sisterhood FL _. Or
Okay.
you can actually call or text, which is 904-440-3455.
All right, fantastic. I'll try to get all that information from you a little later and
Yeah, it's a lot.
put it up on the page. So listeners can definitely connect, because I know that it's awesome to watch. It's awesome to see the impact that you're having, but sometimes it's better to be able to do more and put your hand to the plow. And there's a lot of different ways, I think, that people can do that are listening or that are watching, and not just monetarily. There's other networks, and somebody might know someone that could be a game changer for you and the girls, and they kind of make that introduction, that type of thing. So I want to encourage everyone that's listening, if you can get involved, in any way, especially with those branches growing, I definitely, anything else you want to share, and before we wrap up here? And
No, I just really want to say again, like I can't say it enough, how much I appreciate everyone's love and support. Especially my team, again, just believing in my vision and going as hard as I do. It just, we can see the change. It's beautiful to see the girls from a year ago, to see some of the things and the accomplishments that they're doing and the growth that they have. And also, it's kind of like our therapy as well.
okay.
Like those girls mean the world to us. And I just want to thank anybody that has ever donated their time, energy, money, resources, anything. Thank you. Thank you. I always say this. We are raising queens, and it's going to take a village. So I really appreciate the village. Thank you so much. And thank you for having me, Gary.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us, giving us the opportunity to talk with you, and kind of help share what you're doing. I know that, like I said, knowing you as long as I have, and sitting next to you and at work, and some of the shenanigans, we'll say, that took place, it's awesome to see the level of growth and impact that you're making, on a personal level, not even on a professional level, but on a personal level. It's really good to see that. It's definitely it's encouraging. So thank you very much for your time, and for sharing your baby with us as well. Because I know most mothers don't like to let random people hold their kids, so we appreciate it. But
I appreciate it. Thank you.
With that being said, again, thank you so much, you guys. Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode. Next week we have a Mr. Ty Malone. He is a founder of a nonprofit, Empowerment for Black Voices, here in the Western New York area. So we're gonna sit down and chop it up with him next week. So I want to encourage you to tune in then. Again, Miss Wilkerson, thank you so much. Until next time, you guys, I'll pray for you. Y'all pray for me. We'll catch you next time on Reflections.